This podcast is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever think about switching insurance companies to see if you could save some cash? Progressive makes it easy to see if you could save when you bundle your home and auto policies. Try it at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states. Hey, I'm Candice Lim.
And I'm Nadira Goff, and you're listening to ICYMI.
In case you missed it.
Slate's podcast about internet culture.
And Nadira, there are so many topics and TikToks and tweets that I want to dissect on today's episode. One of them will not be the election. But maybe we should start with something fun, like how neither of us were on People Magazine's list of sexiest podcast hosts.
As much of a travesty as it might be, I don't identify as a man.
Sure.
And so therefore, this benefits me in ways you can't imagine.
It is unfortunately that time of year when People Magazine selects a has-been to be the sexiest man alive. First off, next year I want to add a category. It's called Sexiest Man Dead. But while someone waits to be announced as the sexiest man alive on November 12th, People Magazine, they have released some of the categories that usually go into the annual print edition. So this is your sexiest Olympian, sexiest internet boyfriend, things like that. Now, Nadira, we have both trifled through this year's categories. I'd love to know, which one do you want to talk about? Because I do think the internet has opinions on some of these.
Okay, you know which one I want to talk about. And it's not sexiest first-time dad or checks notes on incredibly niche magazine competition categories, sexiest supportive partner in sports. It is, quote, makes brat look sexiest. Nominees included Barry Keoghan, Troye Sivan, Kyle MacLachlan. 3 guys I'm on record as loving so much. But you know who won? Someone I'm on record as willing to commit crimes for. Joe Jonas. And I don't know, stop the count. Because I think this category is cursed.
Yes.
I think the title is cursed.
Yes.
First of all, what does makes brat look sexiest even mean? It's like seeing CNN try to define what brat is. I can't tell if it's the celeb who is the most brat, which would be Troy for obvious reasons, or if it's a convergence of hottest celeb that is also the most brat. And I think if you're not me, famed stan of the Jonas Brothers, of the Brothers Jonai, who grew up with the poster of this man on your bedroom wall, then the answer would still be Troy.
Yes.
I'm happy Joe won Sexiest Something because, correct. But truly, I had to read this and look in the mirror and ask myself, what the hell are we doing exactly on Al Gore's internet? Cut the cameras, cut the cameras, cut the cameras.
I reacted the exact same way. Where, do you ever feel like they make up categories to kind of back end someone in there? So for example, they have one category that's best Fiero. And I'm okay, see, you're doing this because you want to give Aaron Tveit something. And with Jeremy Allen White, I was he does deserve to be on the list in general. The category, however, he's in is best tattoos. And why is that a problem, Nadira? Tell me.
Because in the photos that they chose of him and the nominees, he's the least tattooed. In these specific photos that they put on the website, he almost looks as if he has 0 tattoos. And it just kind of makes it funny. I agree, he's an it guy. He's a guy of the moment. He should win something. But homie's not that yadded up compared to his competition.
Exactly. And so that's that. I will bring up the category that made me laugh, which is sexiest TikTok star. First off, any man with a TikTok, not sexy. But I'll just list the nominees because they were Noah Beck, Brew on the Radio, and Connor Wood. And the winner was Mark Estes of the Montana Boys with the Z. And it's actually so offensive that I've never talked to you about the Montana Boys. Do you have thoughts on them?
Just that I know of them in concept, not actually in practice. And I can say that I could give you a quick rundown on all 3 of the nominees, except I couldn't do it for the winner.
Right.
And that upsets me. That upsets me.
Yeah, it's very split vote vibes. Now, like I said, at the time of this recording, they still have not announced 2024's cover star. who will be this year's Sexiest Man Alive. Nadira, should we do some predictions? Do you have a name?
I think the beauty of this list is that it's meant to be forgotten and it doesn't really mean anything. I like laughing at it and derive no joy from any engagement with it beyond that. I don't want to think about it for a second longer than I have to. But I don't know. I can't even tell you who has won in years past. And I guess, like you said before, the assumption is if they've won one of these smaller categories, then they didn't win the big prize. So given that, I would like to say that I think it's personally bananas that it's not Glenn Powell, but some names that I've been hearing a lot this year that didn't win one of the smaller categories are Paul Mescal, Austin Butler, Channing Tatum, Usher, Timothée Chalamet, and the streets are saying that Ryan Gosling has actually been offered it a number of times but has turned it down, which I didn't even know was something you could do. So we'll see if that stays true.
For me, I'm going to throw in Pedro Pascal because, hey, Gladiator 2's coming up. He should have been it last year when The Last of Us came out. But the thing is, People Mag is always 10 years late. But let's be real. The person they should pick and should always pick is Manny Jacinto.
And you know what? Put that on a t-shirt. I'd buy it. $50.
Look, I've just talked about TikTok stars I hate, but maybe we should take a turn and talk about TikTok stars we love. Because on today's episode, we're bringing you our favorite TikToks, tweets, and internet icons of late. Let's take a break. When we come back, Nadira and I will share the things we've been loving online lately. Whether you're listening to ICYMI at double speed or regular speed, you'd probably love to know how you can get more cash back on your credit card. Either way, we'll slow things down a bit so you don't miss anything. Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned on your credit card at the end of your first year with Cashback Match. That means with Discover, you could turn $150 cash back to $300. It pays to Discover. See terms at discover.com/credit card.
This episode is brought to you by Lumen. Your metabolism is your body's engine, so optimizing your metabolic health translates to easier weight management, improved energy levels, better fitness results, and better sleep. Introducing Lumen, the world's first handheld metabolic coach. It's a device that measures your metabolism through your breath. To use Lumen, all you have to do is breathe into your Lumen device first thing in the morning, and then the app lets you know if you're burning fat or carbs. Then, Lumen gives you a personalized nutrition plan for that day based on your measurements. It also gives you tailored guidance to improve your nutrition, workouts, sleep, and even stress management. Breathe into it before and after workouts and meals so you know exactly what's going on in your body in real time. And Lumen will give you tips to keep you on the top of your health game. Take the next step in improving your health. Go to lumen.me/ICYMI to get 15% off your Lumen. That's lumen.me/ICYMI for 15% off your purchase.
Hey there! If you love our podcast, then maybe you should consider subscribing to Slate Plus to immediately unlock bonus episodes. You'll access ad-free listening across all your favorite Slate podcasts, including bi-weekly bonus episodes of this show. Subscribe now on Apple Podcasts by clicking Try Free at the top of our show page, or visit slate.com/ICYMI Plus to get access wherever you listen. And we're back. So Nadira, you always bring me joy. And today, I'd like you to bring joy to our listeners. What is the first thing that's been making you laugh, giggle, tee-hee on the internet lately?
It is time to finally introduce to the show something I've been waiting to talk about. It's time to talk about the Shop Cats show. Have you heard of the Shop Cats show, Candice?
I have not, but it sounds cute. It also kind of sounds like a TikTok shop.
I mean, it's a TikTok show. So in a way, You're kind of correct. So,
twist.
Shop Cat's Show is a web show hosted by a comedian and actor who's a native New Yorker. She goes by the name of Michelle Adana. And she has this show where she interviews bodega cats and their owners and the patrons of the bodega that frequent that specific store. The show has its own page on Instagram and TikTok at Shop Cat's Show. And here's a clip of one of the early episodes about a cat named Tutu in a bodega in the Brooklyn neighborhood of Park Slope.
Oh, wow. Boar's Head. Welcome to Shop Cats, where we find the coolest cats in the city. I heard there's a really cute bodega cat in here. Let's go check it out. Hey, girl. Hi. Tell me about your cat. What's the name?
Tutu. Most of the customers love the cat. Some customers, they just come to the store, look up just for Tutu.
Can we do a little catwalk? Boom, boom. Come on, Tutu, show them. Show them, girl. Yeah, yeah. What's your name?
Mohammed.
Do you work here?
Yeah.
Did you always like cats?
Since I was young, just like when you call them, just give them your hand. Once they sniff your hand, they just know.
They just know, period. We're gonna see if Tutu can hunt or if she's a gatherer. So you see a mouse, what do you do? What do you do? Tutu's hunting is explained by this. I like how Tutu hisses. Very real, very scary. Sometimes you get like a little bit... Hey, hey, hey! Where does he hang out usually?
Chip shelf right here. We just leave it empty. We just fill up these shelves because sometimes he scratch them and he opened them. I'm sick.
And the neighborhood loves Tutu.
Yeah, everybody. Especially in the shelf. They just come, sit there, and we think they're trying to shop, but they're not really shopping. They're just playing with Tutu.
Candice, what are your initial thoughts about the Shop Cat's Show?
I think it's so freaking cute. I love this for many reasons, from the Spanish captions to how well produced it is. But I'm going to shout out something technical, which is the microphone. Look, I am kind of sick of those little like Rode square lapel mics because they just have like insane plosives. And so I like that. Our girl has handheld dynamics. They're back. Nadira, this is such a great pick. Tell me, why do you love it?
I think this is so genius and perfect because it's all of the best things that I love about New York social media content and just living in New York. You can tell the difference between content by native New Yorkers like at New York Nico's famous page, at Meals by Cooge, etc., and the I go to NYU and want to make content, so I'm going to interview passersby in Washington Square Park about music or ask rich people in rich areas to tour their rich fancy apartments genre of content. There's an authenticity here and an energy here that's so infectious and real. This woman, Michelle Adana, is Latina, and so there's always multiple languages being spoken. There's a whole cast of voices every video. It highlights the institution that is the bodega cat. And Michelle Adana has just such great energy. Like in that clip when she's like, let's do a catwalk. Come on, girl, let's go. It's just so cute. And I mean, it's a show about cats. Like, what is there to not like about this? I mean, it's just so fun and silly and heartwarming. And I think it really shows the fabric of New York City and puts it on full display.
Yeah, I want this job. And a question I've actually never asked you, have you ever been approached by one of those like people with little microphones asking you like what you're listening to or anything like that?
No, you want to know why? I stay out of Manhattan.
Oh!
I live in Brooklyn. The Slate offices are in Brooklyn. You can find me in Brooklyn. I really don't go into Manhattan unless I'm trying to go to a specific store or if there's an event going on. And I think I'm sort of only now in my third year of living here warming up to the idea of like going to Manhattan more often. But even when I do, I try and stay away from NYU's campus. And so therefore, I wouldn't necessarily be in Washington Square Park unless it's for something like a Timothée Chalamet lookalike contest. And so I would kind of avoid, you know, the more TikTok interview type of content creators. But I don't know. I do like to say that I like to stay ready because I feel like in New York, you never know.
I wanted to ask, like, what are your tips? Because I do not live near New York, and I have to say it's one of my top fears, like sharks, spiders, being approached by a person on TikTok asking me what I'm listening to. What is your preparedness toolkit like? Do you know what you're going to say?
Yes, just whatever I'm listening to. But I do have to say that my preparedness is kind of baked into my identity as a culture consumer and thus a reporter. Anyone who follows me on Instagram knows that I do something called Song Sundays almost every Sunday, where I share the songs that I've been listening to that week. And a large part of that is because I have this running playlist of current favorites, which are songs that have really been bumping. And so I kind of already know what the options are if someone were to run up on me on the street and say, hey, what are you listening to? It's going to be one of the songs on that playlist. And I stand behind what I listen to. If you catch me on the street and I'm listening to a Jonas Brothers deep cut, I'm going to say it with my chest. Oh. So, I've got no shame in the game.
Yes. I'll just share what I think I would like to do. And let's just say that I've never been in this situation. So maybe I'm preparing for a storm that never comes. But I've decided two things. I'm either they come up to me and I'm just going to scream and then walk away. Or I am just going to pull in Northwest and go, no photos. And so they'll kind of be like, whoa, should we take our photo? And then I just air this type of mystery. They still post me and they're like, who is this? Da, 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 da. And it's like, I don't know. She's real mysterious though.
I think if you did either of those things, the more realistic outcome is that you would get cut out of the video.
I know, isn't that so sad? or is that my goal?
I mean, perhaps it's your goal, but I do think you can ruminate on that while you tell me about what you brought to the table this week.
Okay. I have decided to bring you a spoiler. Spoiler. Because I'm about to spoil the season 4 premiere of Abbott Elementary. If you have not watched, I am so sorry. But basically, the breaking news is that Janine and Gregory got together. That's right, Miss Teagues and Mr. Eddie. They're in love. They're an official couple. And I have to be so honest. I don't like having this opinion, but I actually did not love season 4, episode 1. There was kind of something about the reveal that they are now together that I found lacking a sense of whimsy or cleverness. I'm still working through why I feel that way, but while that's happening, let's just say I was kind of turned off to the point where I was like, I might not watch season 4 of Abbott this year. But then, I was on Twitter. I was on TikTok. And I cannot stop seeing this fan edit on my For You page. I think we should just play it.
And if we run out of computer chips,
Submit a ticket to me. Sorry,
is it hot?
Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah, we got it.
Okay. Here's the context. In season 4, episode 3, Abbott Elementary receives a bunch of new computers as part of a blackmail scheme led by Principal Ava Coleman, played by Janelle James. And, if you get a work computer, your work IT person, they come in, install drivers and software. So they get someone in, and this guy goes by the name O'Shawn, and he is played by Matthew Law. And O'Shawn, how are we describing him, Nadira?
More than just a snack, he is a whole meal. He is a very delicious looking human being. It's correct.
Uh-huh. Yeah, eat one, take one home pasta. He's so fine, and I'm not kidding you. This TikTok alone made me want to date someone in IT, specifically IT support. I want to be supported. And the whole episode, Ava is playing it very cool. He literally says, I'll give my personal number to Principal Coleman. And she's just like, fine, whatever. But then she really takes a look at him and starts humming Kiss Me by Sixpence None the Richer. And here's the good news. O'Shawn will be recurring. And I'm so in because, look, I just think that Ava deserves someone nice, someone safe, someone who can kind of like match her freak, especially when Janine and Eddie are like off being happy. And so I like this. I needed some stakes. I needed some chase. And I need O'Shawn and Ava to be the new will they won't they. So I am back in.
I kind of want to go back to you not liking episode 1 because, and I know this is an internet culture podcast and not a TV podcast, so I'm going to try to keep this brief. But chat, am I old? Am I cooked?
Chat.
Because I don't really see the problem. I love Janine and Eddie, and I've been loving the tidbits we get to see of them trying to navigate the privacy of their relationship, the privacy, if you will, while belonging to the same workplace. Sure. Sorry, but I like when I get what I ask for. And the writers are smart and the actors are charming and I'm satisfied. Sue me. Sue me, sue me, sue me. On the other hand, I may be 2 episodes behind the season, so I actually haven't met this tall drink of water yet. But I don't necessarily need another will they, won't they, and I don't think that that's what Ava's character is built for. She's a girl who knows what she wants and isn't afraid to ask for it, and it doesn't need to be drawn out over yet another 3 seasons. However, I will say that I did see this tweet from user Isaiah, handle at @irose_R2, and it's commenting on the casting announcement of Matthew Law joining as Oshan. The tweet says, Quinta Brunson studied at the Issa Rae Academy of Awkward Black Girls and majored in casting fine black men. And I think that's the retweet. I'm happy that the internet will have more material to work with, and I want to see some of the best cams to ever fan. I want to see the material because this edit, yes. This is what I needed.
Yeah. Well, Nadira and I still have a few things we want to share, so let's take a break. When we come back, we're talking about construction workers going viral and hiring people to cuss out your boss. We'll be right back. Listening on Audible helps your imagination soar. When I was in high school, my class was assigned Like Water for Chocolate by Laura Esquivel, and it blew me away. You know, it's about food and love and passion, and my favorite thing was being in school and having my teacher perform it out loud for us. So I thought, why don't I recapture that experience by listening to it as an audiobook? Find the genres you love or discover new ones with the best selection of audiobooks, podcasts, and Audible originals all in one app. Audible makes it easy to be inspired and entertained as part of your daily routine without needing to set aside extra time. Can you imagine listening to the beautiful words of Like Water for Chocolate while cooking? There's more to imagine when you listen. New members can try Audible now, free for 30 days with your first audiobook included. Visit audible.com/ICYMI or text ICYMI to 500-500. That's audible.com/ICYMI or text ICYMI to 500-500. Whether you're listening to ICYMI at double speed or regular speed, you'd probably love to know how you can get more cash back on your credit card. Either way, we'll slow things down a bit so you don't miss anything. Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned on your credit card at the end of your first year with Cashback Match. That means with Discover, you could turn $150 cash back to $300. It pays to Discover. See terms at discover.com/credit card.
If you send hey, they send hey. But with opening moves on Bumble, you can get to better chats faster. Because if you send most underrated summer activity, they send eating spicy soup in front of the air conditioner on full blast. And that's something you can work with. You're still making the first move, but you can choose a question or write your own to get sent to all your matches. So you can relax and see what they come back with. Download Bumble and try it for yourself.
And we're back. Nadira, we have 2 more delightful things to share with each other. I'm dying to hear yours. Please tell me what you've got.
Candice, when I say the letters OCDA, does that ring a bell for you?
Okay, interesting. It's making me think of OCTA, Orange County Transportation Authority bus. It's making me think of OSHA, which I think is like a government safety health agency, ?
OCDA is an acronym that stands for Occupational Cares Diversity Affairs. And instead of explaining it myself, I'm going to let the originator do that.
What does your company do and how was it formed?
OCDA is an acronym for Occupational Cares Diversity Affairs. And what we do is people go to my website, they file a complaint about their boss or their supervisor, anything like that. We show it to the job and we cuss their ass out. Yeah, everything you want to say to your boss, that you can't say, y'all contact us, go to our website, OCDAofficial.com, and we'll show up and say all the things you want us to say verbatim.
Is it anonymous? Like, do they know who it's from?
Oh yeah, the complaints are totally anonymous, but I say everything verbatim, so you can curse on your complaints. I'm a curse anyway.
what you're hearing is a TikTok from Calamar White, who I'm assuming is a comedian. His TikTok page has no avatar or profile pic, and his bio just says, OCDAofficial.com, we are not affiliated with OSHA. Here's a video follow-up of him making good on the promise that he was discussing in his introductory video.
Hey, how you doing? How you doing?
All right, can I help you?
My name Agent Ratliff with OSHA Cares Diversity Affairs, ID number 33712. And I was coming here looking for, see Elite, Mr. Lee right here. Okay, I'm coming out here to go over some complaints. So you have a office? You want to go over these complaints?
No, I'm not the one to talk to. I don't have any idea what this is about.
Your name on this list. It say right here, y'all need to humble yourself because y'all don't know shit. Y'all be talking about people behind their back. Anson and the receptionist is fucking and getting high at work. It say y'all racist as fuck. Y'all ain't shit and everybody wish Nick was still here. Now who is Nick? It
what
said,
are you talking about?
these are complaints that were filed on behalf of the company.
What address do you have?
2217 Rock Chapel Road.
That's us. Give me more information about you. And what is she doing?
This is recorded. You, first of all, you need to calm your attitude down, man. Yeah, I don't like the attitude. You come out here loud.
I don't like your attitude.
And when I came in, nobody greeted me.
There is an official website. The website is real, and it's actually very funny. If you go on it, it says in big text, real company, real complaints, and there's a tab that says OCDA handbook, and it says the employee requirements to work at OCDA, which include masters in verbal artistry. Knowing how to cuss isn't just allowed, it's encouraged. Backtalk black belt. Self-explanatory, I think. Pop culture pro. Know at least 2 lines from All About the Benjamins or Friday. And my favorite, ugliness unacceptable. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, but let's just say we trust our eyes a lot. His TikTok page and these skits are really starting to pop off, not only on TikTok, but also on Twitter, which is when you really know that you're onto something. And I just can't help but think about how elaborate the skits are. He's getting all of these real workplaces and employees to participate. And you know it's fake because sometimes you can catch someone behind a desk breaking or something like that. And in his introductory video, you can hear people laughing in the background. But it's funny. In fact, it kind of makes it funnier. And I think there's maybe something to be said about the sort of workplace internet comedy trend that might be bubbling up between this and corporate Aaron, and maybe there's another few figures that I haven't, seen or that you might think of. But I feel like it's a trend that's happening, and I'm excited about it.
There's something very charming about it because I think we have all wanted to do that, right? Most people save it for the exit interview where they actually go off on their boss and list the 10 things that are wrong with you. But there is something quite vindicating about being this is an anonymous complaint. I went on the website, by the way, form, very easy to fill out. Try it. And it's just kind of funny because I can imagine the employee in the back watching this happen, just being so I'm going to go on my lunch break, but I will be taking it outside and watching this all happen. And I love that.
I also just love how nonchalant he is, when he's well, I'm a cuss anyway. Even if you don't put it in there.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's just very funny. And I think it's maybe a testament to how good comedy can exist on a sort of internet format, on a short video format, and how you can prioritize real life skits instead of always having to have recorded content of your stand-up or something like that. It's just really refreshing to see something so lived in. I don't know. It's just very funny. And he's got all of Black Twitter in the palm of his hand at this point. So I guess we'll have to see. We'll have to see how the OCDA company's profit margins develop over time. But, I'll check in with that. What did you want to bring as your second round to the table?
Today, I am showing you a TikTok. It was posted by @IsaiahW25 back in October. Here we have a guy in construction, okay? He's wearing jeans, boots, a neon yellow safety shirt thing, and he is crouching down on a job site, and I am going to let him take it from here.
Do I look like those girls that are standing like that?
Sexy.
It's 7 p.m. Friday. It's 99 degrees. I ain't got no and got me.
Okay, so I feel like I know where this is going because I actually have never seen the original until now. But I feel like you're going to talk about the other ways in which I might have seen this guy which is in other people's videos as a little cutout, sticker, emoticons. Yes. I'll let you take it away, but this is delightful. I'm so happy to see the OG version of something or the seed of something when it's a different version of it that becomes super popular, because the OG is just, there's nothing like it. It's just got that je ne sais quoi, you know?
Raw. Exactly. So first off, the song that this person is referencing, I guess you could say singing, is TGIF by Glorilla. And I want to start off by talking about what you just said. I love technology, okay? I love these little things on TikTok where you can basically like Photoshop out your favorite part of someone's TikTok and then like paste it kind of like a sticker using whatever caption or song or background you want. And the reason I know this TikTok is because people have been clipping out this guy and putting him in photos of bathrooms with the caption like, when I'm peeing in the club bathroom but a banger of a song comes on. They're pasting him into like Wayfair lookbook catalogs with the caption, me, I need to go to bed early. I'm so tired. Also me at 4 a.m. It's 7 p.m. Friday. Someone dressed up as him for Halloween, and I think this is iconic. And so I now want to break down this original video because it is actually a more important text to me than the sticker it has created.
He's got a beautiful spurt. Okay, break it down for me, Candice. Break it down for me.
So let's start at timestamp 0000. Okay, we start off with this man, and I'm going to call him our dancer because somehow he actually has not been like identified, or he hasn't done a lot of interviews, which is interesting. But our dancer, okay, he's holding maybe like a motor or a rotor, like a piece of metal equipment. And there is someone else in this video who is not only holding this metal with him, his hand is on top of our dancer's hand, okay? It is on top of his hand. We move to the next frame where our dancer asks, do I look like those girls that are standing like that, crouching? And someone affirms to him, sexy. And what you need to know is that the person who said sexy is the guy behind the camera. Okay, someone on the crew is saying that's sexy. And I want to stop here. I thought that was so hot. I'm so sorry. I just love when guys call their other guy friends hot. I don't know. It really sparks something within me.
I do prefer when guys call me hot, but yes, as a secondary, I love when guys call other guys hot. Continue.
We go back to the text. For 4 biblical seconds, our dancer, he thinks. He looks off into the distance. He went to the grocery store, he bought the ingredients, and now he's cooking something. And he makes 3 attempts to sing the song. His first attempt, he's hesitant. He's shy. His second, he's goofy. And on his third, he gets serious. He's straight to cam, face T, body T, and please let it be known that the friend who was holding the motor with him is still holding his hand the entire time he dances. And that guy, he is like laughing, giggling the whole time. I actually would argue he's maybe smitten, but it's just like so intimate, and it's actually really beautiful to me.
What's so funny about it is you can kind of tell that he just must have done something like this before or pulls these kinds of shenanigans before because they're so used to it. Like they're just like, oh, there goes Dave.
There's Kyle.
There goes Sean doing his thing again. But I will have to say, I think we're saving the best for last because if you know the song, then you know this lyric. And I feel like somewhere along the way we forgot to mention, though maybe perhaps you gleaned by the names that we just threw out, that this man is white. And for those of us who know what comes next, we were waiting. We were waiting to see if he was going to say the word that he shouldn't say. We were curious to see if he was going to say what Glorilla says, and instead, he just says mm-hms or mm-ms, which is something that always wins TikTok over, I've noticed. Like anytime there's a white person dancing to and or mouthing along to a rap song, and they stay tight-lipped or move themselves out of the frame when the rapper says the N-word, the comments are always like, great job, great job, great job. And I'm like, oh yes, societally, we're still here.
And let me be very clear about something. I don't like it when they like cover their mouth because I do not know what's happening behind that hand. I need to see proof. I need to see a receipt. And you're right. Low bar, and yet he cleared. Because I think this TikTok, this original text, I'm really thinking this is like the Old Testament or something. In Kyle 420, I think this actually was evidence of a theory that I've like kind of been seeing floating around TikTok, which is that Glorilla's latest album came out a few weeks ago, and her music seems to be resonating with like a sizable population of working class men, specifically those with blue collar jobs. And I'm kind of curious what's going on there. Not in like a hypercritical way, but in like a way. So if listeners have thoughts on that.
I'd love to see some of those theories. Maybe send them to me, because I haven't really noticed a trend of Glorilla's music striking a chord with a sizable population of working class men. It's more that Black culture is the zeitgeist today. Everybody wants to get it sexy. You know, it's just kind of funny because it's what people on TikTok are doing. And it's kind of inescapable to see the trend or the content or, for example, Glorilla's music. And so therefore, it's funny when you do. And so I don't know if it's actually an interest in the sense that they're bumping her songs on Spotify, that there's some of those monthly listeners, or if it's just that they like the trends on TikTok, which I think is kind of different, but I'm intrigued to see. Like, I want to believe that there's a whole swath of working class men who actually just love Glorilla.
Yeah, I think you're making a good point. Could be either, could be both. I think what I would like to see is, look, it's November, and we know what's coming up. Spotify Wrapped. Spotify Wrapped is coming up. And everyone out there who gets a little notification that they're in like the 0.05% of Glorilla's top listeners would love to see a selfie. Would love to know more. Would love to see that list, okay? Would love to see a spreadsheet, Excel. Let's work on that.
We want stats. We want stats of everyone that has a beautiful spurt.
Okay, that's the show. We'll be back in your feed on Saturday, so definitely subscribe. That way, you never miss an episode. Leave us a rating and a review in Apple or Spotify, and tell your friends about us. You can follow us on Twitter at ICYMI_pod, and you can always drop us a note at ICYMI@slate.com.
ICYMI is produced by Se'era Spragley Ricks and Candice Lim, with production assistance from Alexandra Botti. Daisy Rosario is our senior supervising producer, and Alicia Montgomery is Slate's VP of Audio. See you online.
Or at the Bodega.